Hey, how you doing? Welcome to another in the video series of Pancakes Plus, all things breakfast with emphasis on pancakes and French toast. This video is going to be about cinnamon roll pancakes. Now, my name's Butch, I'm your host. When I was growing up, cinnamon rolls were a rare treat, and I dearly loved them. They would come in a pack of like 6 or 8. And my mother would give me the pack, and the next thing she knew, it would all be gone. I love cinnamon rolls. So the cinnamon roll pancakes consist of 3 elements. You've got the pancakes, the filling, and the glaze. So we're going to start off by doing the filling first because it takes the most time. Here we have a saucepan, and to that saucepan we're going to add a 1/2 cup of water, 1 cup of brown sugar. You could use brown sugar, dark brown sugar, either one works. Corn syrup. Now the corn syrup will help keep the sugar from becoming crystallized when it gets cool, or you put it in the refrigerator and it gets cold. Now, I don't know, the molasses in the brown sugar might do the same thing, but I know corn syrup works. 1/2 stick of butter. I've got it cut up just so it'll melt faster. It melts faster if it's in smaller pieces. So there's that. And a tablespoonful of cinnamon. Try saying that 3 times real fast. Cinnamon. And a 1/2 cup of raisins. And after the raisins, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of chopped pecans. I didn't toast mine. If you want to toast the pecans, that's perfectly fine. Put this on a medium heat and stir it. I'm using a non-stick pan, so I'm using a silicone whisk. And I've got an induction cooktop, so it doesn't take long at all for this thing to come up to heat. We'll put that on there and stir that up and let that come up to heat while we make the pancakes. Now, in this bowl I have 1 1/4 cups of White Lily all-purpose flour. I use White Lily because it's made out of winter wheat, and it's real soft and it gives real good results. And to this I'm going to add 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. And in this little bowl I have 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So that goes in. There's that. Now then, you mix that up good, and we'll go to the wet ingredients. Buttermilk. Now, they make 2 different kinds of buttermilk. They make a cultured buttermilk and what I call redneck buttermilk, and it's called redneck buttermilk because it's not cultured. Cultured just means that it has the normal bacteria that live in the gut. So it's got a culture of that in there. Either one works fine for this. If you need the culture, the bacteria, you can't heat the buttermilk. The heat will kill the bacteria that you're trying to get if you need that bacteria. So to that we're going to add, this is a departure from our normal basic recipe. We're gonna roll these pancakes, so we need them to be a little bit thinner than normal. So instead of 1 1/2 cups of buttermilk, we're going to use 1 3/4 cups buttermilk. That's 1 3/4 cups instead of 1 1/2 cups. And to that we're going to add 1/4 cup of canola oil. Use canola because it doesn't have any taste, or very little taste. So we'll put that there. And 1 egg. And And we're going to put that in here. And we're going to mix that up till it's nice and mixed, till it turns, till the yolk on the egg breaks and it turns this mixture a faint yellow. Faint yellow is what we're looking for. All right, that looks good. Looks like that's mixed up real well. So we take the wets and pour them into the dry, like so, and stir this up. Stir that up, but don't overstir it. You just want to get the stuff, all the dry ingredients moistened. You will have some lumps. Lumps are okay. They will cook out. So, there we go with that. Let's check this. Turn that up a little bit. You just want to get this warm enough to completely dissolve the brown sugar and the butter. So that looks like that's doing fine. Now then, let's start up our griddle here. I have this electric griddle. And I enjoy using this electric griddle. You can control the temperature very easily. I'm setting it on 350. If you don't have an electric griddle, you can use one of the two burner stovetop griddles. You can use a skillet. It's just a lot more difficult to control the heat with that. So while the griddle is warming up and our batter is resting, we will take a short little break here. We need to let this batter rest so that the acid in the buttermilk and the baking soda can start the rising process. And it does that by giving off carbon dioxide. So we're going to take a little break here, and we'll come right back when the griddle's hot and the batter has rested. And we're back. The griddle is heated up to 350 degrees. The pancake batter has rested and it's started to rise. You can see the little bubbles in there where the carbon dioxide is coming through. So we're going to prep the griddle by spraying it down with some canola oil cooking spray. And again, I like the canola oil because it doesn't have any taste to it. We're going to use a half cup measuring cup to measure this. But I like big pancakes. If I eat a pancake, I want to eat a pancake. So we're going to put one right there and let that spread out a little bit. Put another one right here. This little griddle, I can't get but 3 on it. If you've got a bigger griddle, you could of course make more at one time. And we're going to put another one right there. And that one looks like it didn't spread out real good, so we're going to put a little more in that. There we go. And while that's cooking, we're going to go over here and make our glaze to go on it. In this bowl, I have 2 cups of powdered sugar. And to this, we're going to add just plain water, a tablespoonful at a time. I'm going to start out with about 4, and we'll go from there. Splash it out, all right? That's good. And don't use powdered sugar or flour while you're wearing black. That is not a good combination. You'll look like you've been snowed on. So we're going to add a couple of more tablespoons of water while we keep an eye on the pancakes. And they look like they're doing pretty good. People want to know when to turn the pancakes. And you turn them when they get dry around the edge. This is almost ready. It's still a little thick. I'm going to add another tablespoon of water to it. It doesn't take much water make this confectioner sugar glaze, powdered sugar glaze. Doesn't take much at all. Now, if you wanted to add a little vanilla flavoring in here, that would be fine. I believe that's about right. Oh, yeah. That looks good. Almost perfect, if not perfect. All right. How are we looking over here on the pancakes? Yeah. Almost ready to flip. You can see how they're getting dry around the edge here. Getting dry around the edge. Bubbles forming in the middle. So, let's see if we can turn these bad boys over. Look at that. Look at that. Back in. Messed that one up. And turn that one over. Yeah, buddy. Now, normally I would put butter on these at this point, but since the glaze has butter in it, I think that would be a little redundant. Now, you really probably should go ahead and make this glaze, this filling, a couple of hours ahead and let it cool down to room temperature. Just to be on the safe side. But I didn't, so we're going to deal with what we got. Get your plate out here. And your filling. And those are still a little mushy in the middle. If that's, I don't know if that's, I still say I'm going to look up the French word for mushy. Sort of sound official anyway. Get all that off there. Doesn't have anything to do with the taste, but it makes it look a lot better. I've always maintained that even though you're not a professional, which I'm not a chef, I don't own a restaurant, I don't even work in a restaurant. So I am not a professional. But anything you do, even if you're not a professional, I think you should be able to put out a professional looking product. Or a professional sounding product if you're a singer or whatever. But that's just my opinion. And we all know what they're worth. That one is almost ready. Okay, so we are ready to plate. And with this one, we're going to roll them so you want that side showing. So you take that little fella right there, flip him over. Dip out some of this filling. Be sure and get some pecans and raisins. Just coat that filling on here like this. And then take this little fella like this and just roll him up. Hopefully he won't crack. Move him up there like that. Go back for another one. Turn him over. Put some filling on him. Come on, get some pecans and raisins on there, butch. There we go. Some of that filling on this little fella. See if I can get him evened out a little bit, a little more level. Put some filling on that little fella right there. And we're going to roll him up. Hopefully he won't crack. There you go, like that. Back to the last one. Turn him over. Put some filling on him. And this filling probably would work better if it was a little cooler. Wouldn't run so much. So we're going to take this little fella, roll him up backwards like this, line him up right there. Paper towel. Clean off the side of the plate here. See if I can do that without making it worse. Alright. And we're going to drizzle some of this glaze over these little fellas. Like so. Garnish with some pecans. Some raisins. And whipped cream. And if you don't have homemade whipped cream, just use some of this store-bought. Squeeze them up whipped cream. Shake it up. Put some whipped cream on it like that. And there you have cinnamon roll pancakes. This is Butch from Butch's Kitchen. Asking you to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And may you have Heart of Dixie dishes from the heart of Dixie.